And this is getting crazy real quick. It's getting sticky real quick. The WNBA refs information has been leaked. There could be potential betting going on, a potential scandal. We don't know what's going on. We don't know who to trust. But this information has been put out. We got to get into it, man. The WNBPA has also failed to protect and represent Caitlin Clark. That is the Women's National Basketball Players Association. The Players Association have not.
The officiating crisis inside the WNBA has officially crossed the absolute point of no return, escalating from a frustrating post-game talking point straight into what fans are actively dubbing the WNBA RICO. Over the last 48 hours, the internet has completely exploded as the full identities of all 34 WNBA referees were leaked and circulated across social media platforms. But the fans aren't just angry about missed foul calls anymore. They are aggressively connecting the dots between the terrifying, nightly physical targeting of Caitlin Clark and a much darker, far more sinister underlying motive. With the national media finally broadcasting the brutal, uncalled violence directly to millions of viewers, a massive, horrifying question is rapidly sweeping through the basketball world. Are these referees simply incompetent, or are we staring down the barrel of a massive underground sports betting scandal? You are locked into WNBA Verdict, the undisputed authority on the raw, unfiltered truth behind the biggest cover-ups in women's basketball. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and let's dive directly into the absolute circus currently ripping the league's credibility to shreds. To truly comprehend the sheer magnitude of this officiating disaster, we have to look directly at the terrifying, real-world legal earthquake that just shattered the NBA. Just days ago, in late June 2026, 9-year NBA veteran Malik Beasley and former player Ed Davis were federally indicted in a massive, sweeping illegal sports betting and point-shaving conspiracy. Federal prosecutors explicitly outlined how Beasley, a player who secured an 8-figure contract during his career, actively manipulated his on-court performance, specifically tailoring his rebounding numbers to ensure his underground associates could cash in.
For your fist in another player's throat, or is it not? Players Union spokesman said the WNBPA respectfully declines comment. The WNBPA has no interest in protecting Caitlin Clark after Caitlin Clark helped them. After Caitlin Clark helped the WNBPA secure a transformational CBA. This is what I'm talking about when I said they just was using her.
On highly lucrative prop bets. He deliberately altered the outcome of his own statistics for a payout. Now, bring that horrifying reality directly over to the WNBA. If a multimillionaire playing at the absolute highest level of men's professional basketball can be compromised by illegal gambling rings, what exactly is stopping the drastically underpaid, highly scrutinized officials of the WNBA from falling into the exact same trap? Fans are watching games where a superstar like Caitlin Clark attempts 0 free throws, while other veteran stars are effortlessly marched to the charity stripe 20 times a night. When the discrepancies become this incredibly massive and statistically absurd, the fan base has every absolute right to question whether these officials are protecting a narrative, or if they are actively protecting a parlay. The spotlight of this massive public investigation is currently burning an absolute hole through veteran officials like Gina Cross and Angelica Suffren. For months, die-hard fans and independent analysts have been compiling extensive, undeniable video evidence showing a severe, terrifying lack of foul calls whenever Clark is violently targeted on the hardwood. But the absolute craziest development to emerge from this investigative deep dive is a bizarre, highly controversial video allegedly showing Suffren hanging out in the referee locker room. Instead of reviewing game tape, studying matchups, or focusing on the immense, heavy pressure of officials.
Dot our I's and cross our T's. Eyes peeled, ear to the streets. We need to pay attention to what's going on. Now check out this post from Sports Kita. And this is from Pacers Fever fan. And we're about to get into what Christine Brennan had to say because this ties into it, okay? Here it says, Caitlin has had the most flagrant fouls committed against her out of all players since she has been in the league. and there's been so many uncalled ones. The W finally corrected one.
Initiating a professional sports league, the official appears to be completely consumed by social media vanity and self-promotion. While we cannot definitively confirm the absolute context or timing of the clip, it paints a horrifyingly accurate picture of a league that currently feels less like a premier professional athletic association and significantly more like an unserious, drama-fueled reality television show. When the individuals entrusted to maintain the absolute integrity of the game seem more interested in their own personal digital branding than blowing the whistle on blatant, non-basketball hostility, the entire foundation of the sport is deeply, permanently compromised. And that undeniable lack of institutional integrity has finally forced the mainstream media to step into the arena and do the job the league office refuses to do. Major national news networks, including Fox News, have just completely dismantled the WNBA's officiating crew on national television. They broadcasted a brutal, frame-by-frame, high-definition breakdown of the catastrophic, violent sequence involving Alyssa Thomas. The news anchors did not hold back, explicitly pointing out the horrifying, undeniable details that the referees standing just 3 feet away somehow magically missed. The national broadcast exposed the absolute reality. Alyssa Thomas drove a knee directly into Clark's midsection, immediately followed by a targeted, incredibly forceful fist to the neck, and then aggressively stepped over her while she was down on the hardwood. The absolute most damning part of the entire sequence? The basketball was already completely gone. This was not a physical basketball play. This was a reckless, non-basketball act of pure, calculated physical intimidation. Yet, despite having a clear, entirely unobstructed line of sight, the officials completely swallowed their whistles. When national news networks are dedicating entire primetime segments to exposing your referees for allowing borderline assault on live television, your league is in an absolute, unmitigated state of emergency. But if you thought the complete failure on the hardwood was the lowest point of this embarrassing saga, the WNBA's official front office response managed to be exponentially more insulting. After the viral outrage essentially forced the league's hand, they finally reviewed the footage and retroactively handed Alyssa Thomas a flagrant 2 violation, a single game suspension, and a microscopic, almost laughable $1,000 fine. Let that completely sink into your mind for a moment. The disciplinary action for recklessly targeting the neck of the single most valuable athlete in the entire history of the sport is a 1-game timeout.
That this one flagrant, blatant, disgusting foul and play by Alyssa Thomas, all of a sudden a new hate campaign, a new smear campaign has been launched right before our eyes, and it's insane and it's nasty work. And then you got the WNBPA doing nothing. The WNBPA refusing to protect Caitlin Clark. It's nasty, nasty, nasty.
And a fine that barely covers the cost of a premium courtside ticket or a post-game dinner. This pathetic, toothless slap on the wrist is absolutely not a punishment. It is a giant, glowing green light. By issuing such a severely weak penalty, the WNBA front office is essentially telling every single enforcer, bitter rival, and jealous veteran in the league that the absolute worst consequence for taking a dangerous cheap shot at Caitlin Clark is a minor, temporary inconvenience. It proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the league office is significantly more terrified of upsetting the veteran locker rooms than they are of protecting the physical safety of the player who is actively paying their bills and keeping the lights on. The absolute most horrifying, deeply enraging part of this entire controversy, however, is the deafening, cowardly silence coming from the very organization designed to protect the players. Legendary sports journalist Christine Brennan recently dropped an absolute bombshell report, revealing that she directly reached out to WNBPA Executive Director Terry Jackson regarding the Alyssa Thomas incident. Brennan asked a very simple, direct question. Is putting a fist into another player's throat punishable or not? The Players Association officially and respectfully declined to comment. They completely hid under the desk. The sheer, unadulterated hypocrisy of this silence is absolutely staggering. The WNBPA gleefully rode the massive tidal wave of Caitlin Clark's unprecedented popularity to secure a transformational, historic $2.2 billion television broadcasting deal with networks like NBC, Disney, and Amazon. They happily used her massive global leverage to fundamentally rewrite the financial future of every single veteran in the league. Yet, the absolute second their golden goose takes a fist to the throat on national television, the union completely abandons her. They got their money, they secured their bags, and now they are perfectly content to leave her stranded on an island to face the nightly physical hostility entirely alone. It is a level of corporate betrayal and union corruption that completely defies belief. The WNBA is officially standing at a massive, historical crossroads, and the entire basketball world is watching their every move. They have been handed the ultimate, golden opportunity to elevate women's sports to unprecedented global heights, backed by billions of dollars in television revenue and sold-out, screaming arenas across the country. But if they continue to allow their referees to operate like blind enablers, if they continue to issue pathetic, insulting punishments for incredibly dangerous cheap shots, and if their union leadership continues to hide in the shadows whenever the heat gets turned up, they are going to permanently alienate the massive new fan base that just arrived. The fans are watching the foul discrepancies, the national media is broadcasting the tape, and the patience of the sports world is rapidly running out. I want to hear exactly what you guys think about this massive, unfolding disaster. Do these 34 referees need to be immediately investigated by federal authorities for prop betting? And should Terry Jackson be forced to resign from the Players Association for abandoning her biggest star? Drop your absolute most honest, unfiltered thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay locked in on the truth, and I will see you all in the very next video.